I'm
He
gonna go
missed
get
it.
my boy. I'm
I'm gonna
gonna
go
go
get my
clean up.
exactly. I'm gonna go get my man. I got him. Like, that's our guy. Let's go defend him. It's different than when you go for it and don't get it. It is deflating. Like I can't even tell you.
All right, everybody, welcome to the Distracted Spectrum, rebranded formerly Jono's World, and this is the Sports Edition. And our first guest is a returning one, Rod Smith. He has that ring, y'all. Notre Dame national champion, Rod Smith. That's right. That's right. You can't get those by any other way but hard work and selling your soul to loopholes.
That's about the size of it.
And being the fastest player in high school that year didn't hurt you.
Yeah,
Um,
that doesn't hurt as well. Good to be back, my man. Good
so
to see you, brother.
thank you for coming back. So now that the season's over, let's kind of season in review. Season, there's kind of a review preview. You got the draft and all those, kind of things. But overall, now that the season's over, how does Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid keep this going? Because in my mind, I've been a Chiefs fan since Bill Kenny. Um, that's really how long I've been a Chiefs fan. So that like I worked for him in Kansas City. I worked
Yeah,
construction for Bill.
yeah.
Um, and so in my mind, you can't ask Patrick to do as much as he did this year every single year. It'd take too much toll on him mentally. It'd take too. It's ultimately it's what ended up breaking up Belichick and Brady. Um, like you put too much on a guy for too long, and it wears on you. And so, what do the Chiefs have to do? Not just for a dynasty, but three, four, five to keep those rings piling in because the clock's ticking on Reed for one.
Mhm.
Um, but also Mahomes can't keep throwing to Casper. And Khalees, which is actually how you say his last name, um, is not getting any younger. And he
Yeah,
showed it this year. He showed it this year for the first time.
he absolutely did. Um, it's gonna be interesting to see the kind of moves they make this offseason. I think, as well, obviously we can't discount the impact that having the best player in football has on your ball club, right? I mean, of course, right? Um, but
Maybe ever.
right, exactly, right. But
Maybe
but
ever.
I mean,
Yeah.
he's in that category. I mean, he's got in my mind, he's got to get to like year 15, but he's
Totally.
on the way. He's ahead of schedule. Let's put it that way. Okay.
Projections are
Yeah,
are well
he's
well lit.
he's ahead of schedule, 100%.
Yeah.
Um, uh, but now you have success and your good players are values go up, exponentially when you're playing so well, winning Super Bowls. So like Snead, is probably a guy they can't afford, and um, and the thing is, as good as Spags is, and they've got great corners coming up, that they've drafted and developed. Um, but you lose. Here's the thing. If I cut to the chase, I'm babbling. Here's the thing. It's easier to replace the production than it is the leadership, right? So like if they lose Chris Jones, okay, um, you can find maybe one guys, two guys, develop some guys, get a first round here or there. You may be able to replace the production, but can you replace the leadership? You know what I mean? The toughness that he shows in practice, like the things he does on a day to day basis that
The
not only
inspirational stuff.
yeah, that not only inspires him, but inspires all the guys around the entire defensive line picks up their game because Chris's level of practice is so high, his level of preparation
Right.
is so high. Like you can't be on a team with Tom Brady at any position and not be prepared because he'll expose you. You know what I mean? Like I don't care what position you are, lineman, defensive lineman, cornerback, safety. He'll throw a pass and go, "Oh, somebody's not looking in their play." Like he'll expose you and then call you out, right? And Chris Jones is like that. Chris Jones is a trash talker to not only to hit the opponents but to his own teammates. Like, "Oh, You're supposed to be you got contained. What the hell's going on? He's challenging. But you didn't know you had contained. Like you can't play with Chris Jones and not know your stuff. So you
No.
have to study more. So yes, your contractually you have to be in the office between 8 and 5, right? But the way Chris Jones gets in, Chris Jones is there at 6 o'clock in the morning. So you better be in at 6, right? So it's you get more out of players. So can you find a guy Snead that can cover? Can you bring somebody up that's almost as good in coverage? Can you kind of disguise it a little bit? Yeah, maybe, but like, can you reproduce the kind of leadership that Snead provides that defense? And that's a type of question. It's like with Buffalo with the guy letting go of
Yeah. I felt
Pollard.
just
Is it Pollard?
yep.
Pointer? The
Something like
safety? Yeah, and then the center
3-time
too.
All-Pro.
Yeah, and then the center, Mitch Mosa, they let him go too. Like
Yeah.
that's your other captain. Like you can replace their production, but you can't replace their leadership.
Oh, when Morris left the Chiefs, because that's where they snagged him from.
Yeah, that's right.
It took the Chiefs like 2 years
Figure it
to
out.
recover. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Yep.
Yep. That's some good point because ultimately, you're going to have to move some money to help Patrick Mahomes. So Kelsey's going to have to sacrifice Mahomes, but somebody's going to have to sacrifice some pay because you got to get a receiver. Either you draft one, you're going to have to pay your running back soon. And you know, he's proven his worth. And so you're in a tough spot. Like you either have to draft perfectly, or some players are going to have to make some personal sacrifices for the sake of winning. Is what it seems like to me. Having LeBron James on your team costs a lot of money.
That's right.
It's a luxury tax. NFL don't have that.
That's exactly right.
A hard cap.
Yeah, I mean it is you make a great point, Jono. It is it's not mentioned nearly enough how much Tom Brady's sacrifice on the money side propelled them to a lot of championships when actually, as good as Bill does on defense drafting, he is as bad on offense. But Brady taking half of what he should have his value. He literally could have been making $40 million a year back in 2010. You know what I mean? And he'd have got it, but the team would have stunk. You know what I mean? So he took $10 million. He took $15 million on 40.
Was he ever in the top 10 highest paid quarterbacks?
No.
Like the dude, that's why they won.
That's right.
That's why they won in Tampa. That's why they won everywhere.
That's right.
Because Brady's smart enough to know. He goes, "Oh, you give me $1 million, I'm going to take that million and flip it into 50 anyway." So because he's that kind of brain, and so he's not necessarily worried so much about that part of it. And it's like, is Mahomes willing to do that?
Yeah,
Is he willing to convert money? Is he willing to give up money? Is he willing to give up $8 million so that they can bring in an $8 million receiver? Because that's what you don't get Randy Moss if Tom Brady doesn't do that.
That's right. That's 100% right. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how Kansas City evolves. They do have obviously elite level coaching, if not the best coach out there right now. And then Spags, who is absolutely 100% all day long, a head coach. I think he'd be great now. I know he'd be his third time, and people are very loath to give the coach a third shot at it.
Well, and he's old.
Yeah, but the success he's had. But all I have to say is they have one of the three best defensive coordinators in all of football. Okay, and they have one of the 2 or 3 best head coaches in football. Okay, if
probably
not the best.
Bringing back Eric.
Yeah, right, and then so they're gonna have a strategic advantage. And then you throw in they got the best quarterback in the league. That gives you a lot of weapons. So now even though they're going to be cap strapped and they're going to start losing players, every 2 or 3 years you're going to lose a bunch of good ones. With those elements, like, maybe you can pull it together. I mean, it reminds me of like Baltimore, not Baltimore, but Buffalo last year. 3 cornerbacks out, 3 linebackers out, defense just completely decimated, and literally a play away from playing for the AFC Championship game.
Right.
You know what I mean? With all those injuries and everything, like, still almost got it done.
And the way Baltimore played, they would have beat them.
Oh, exactly.
Josh Allen would have a ring this year.
Listen, I think you're right, man. I mean,
Yeah.
And again, with Buffalo, I mean, when you've got the second best player in the league, it covers up a lot of mistakes, right?
Right.
I'm a little more worried about. I'm kind of getting off pace a little bit, but I am a little more worried about Buffalo because
that was my next question anyway. Like, what do you do as the Ravens and as the Bills? You're looking at the '96 Bulls every year. Like, you have Michael Jordan, LeBron James, you have Magic Johnson, Kareem, all rolled up into this one football player. Like, what do you do? You signed OBJ. That didn't help. Not at all. He played Casper the Friendly Ghost. Like, I mean, what do you do if you're those guys? Like, how do you? It's the Charles Barkley situation. Like, does Mahomes have it on lockdown, kind of like MJ did? Like, we're only, the Houston got a couple rings, as they and those dudes did, but like, really, for this next 6 years?
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting for sure. I think McDermott as a coach with the Bills is underrated. I think
like him a lot.
Yeah,
and I like Josh Allen a lot.
Yeah, I mean, and Josh Allen's an absolute superstar. I think he's the best player. It's funny, Jonah. I love to hear your thoughts. I thought about this today. I was thinking, like, okay, we're having a discussion with you, like, who's the second best player in the National Football League? I think it's Josh Allen. And I started thinking, well, who would be my third quarterback? And I go, would I take my third quarterback? Would it be the guys that come to mind right away for me are Stafford, Burrow, and Jackson. And of those 3, I know I'm trying to mess somebody, but I Burrow's just a little fragile for me. You know what I mean? And I don't mean
he
that
talks too much too.
Yeah, I don't mean as any kind of shade on him, like he's like he's a punk. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that he loves to stand in the pocket and take shots and show his toughness, but he's not built like Ben Roethlisberger. You know what I mean? Like, he's like a small forward in the NBA. You know what I'm saying? Ben Roethlisberger was a damn tight end. It's a different animal, right? I mean, one's 217, one's 247, right? I mean, it's different, right? Or 250, you know what I mean? So
Ben Roethlisberger was just a better version of the hefty lefty from Kentucky.
Yeah,
I mean, he wasn't a tight. The dude was an offensive lineman playing back there. Like, there's times where there's like 6 guys hanging off of him, and he's just like,
yeah.
He was huge.
Yeah.
And Josh Allen reminds me a lot of that.
Yeah, he does.
And Lamar, I mean, at Louisville in the big games, he lost. Ravens, every big game, he hasn't done it. And so I know Josh Allen hasn't either, but of the 2, I'm going over the next 10 years, I'm taking Josh Allen.
Yeah, I mean, I think Josh Allen too. I think Josh Allen.
Yeah.
I go Josh Allen, and then I would take Jackson next before Burrow, because Burrow can't stay healthy. But I also if we're talking about like 1 year, I really like Stafford. I mean, he can absolutely fling that thing, and he's tough as nails. He's smart. He doesn't turn over very often. Like, I mean, he is a really, really good football player. Now he's getting to the end of it, right? But like, I mean,
the only reason he's getting to the end of it is because he spent so long in Detroit.
Yeah.
He's got the Barry Sanders condition.
Yeah, that's true. But he can fling it, man. I mean, I love his game, and so much arm talent and guts, and he's tough. He'll stay in the
Toughness.
pocket. He'll take shots. Yeah, and he's tough, and he doesn't get hurt a lot. Like, I mean, for as many shots as he take, he doesn't get hurt a lot. But I mean,
Well, he plays through it. He just
yeah, he does, and he gets the ball. I really, really like his game, and um,
I've loved Stafford since he was
yeah,
at Georgia.
yeah,
Like
he can.
people knocked on him then too, and I'm like, dude, this dude
He's
is
a
a
baller.
stud.
He's a stud, man. Are you kidding?
And they
He
didn't watch him in Detroit because he was in Detroit.
Yeah,
Like,
'cause he's in
and
Detroit. Exactly.
like he was doing those no look. You can watch films of
Yeah,
him doing no looks years ago.
100%.
So, um, like Stafford is that. He's been that guy. It just, careers
Yeah,
are with you get stuck with the team you get stuck with.
yeah, yeah.
So yeah, I mean, what do those two teams do? I mean, you're staring down the barrel of the Chiefs. Do you just go try to go old school, get really good running backs, really good offensive linemen? Do you look for the next Ray Lewis?
It's funny because I just thought that the Ravens really blew an amazing opportunity.
They had it. They had the
I
better
mean,
team.
golly, yeah, and I just don't know why they didn't have Lamar take over the game. You know what I mean? Like I don't get it. Like like I mean, like, get Lamar out of the pocket on the move. I don't want him dropping back, and everything's run pass. I mean, like, listen, I would have him on the perimeter rolling out every other play, and it would be run pass. And I would make I'm not having him drop back, and they put him in drop back. I was like, why is he in drop back? Like, get him on the perimeter, get him moving, get him some stuff where make the defense make it hard for him to stop. I mean, that's when he's the most dangerous, when he's out of the pocket.
It's common
Like what he
sense.
did against San Francisco earlier in the year. Like, are you kidding me? He killed San Fran. Like, but he was on the move.
I would
Yeah.
have got his
Uh,
running game established first. Before he threw a pass, I would have had him. He would have ran 3 or 4 QB draws.
hundred
Um,
percent.
couple of read options, stuff like that. And then, once his confidence is up by getting the ball just moving with his feet and things like that on this big stage, oh, we're moving the ball against these guys. Let me find an open window now. Like, totally different mindset. But instead, you have Michael Vick, this generation's Michael Vick playing
Drop
like
back.
Peyton Manning. Like, you're running a Peyton Manning off or Matt Ryan offense with him. Like, and you haven't done that all year.
No,
It's like, were you
they're
trying to
throwing.
trick the Chiefs? And
Yes, they're throwing it on 1st and 10. I was like, what the
with
hell are we
Lamar,
doing? What the hell are we doing? 2 series in a row, like in the second quarter, they throw it on first down. I'm like, are you? I don't care if they got 10 guys in the box. I'm running the ball on first down. You dig? I mean, like, I'm sorry. I mean, like, I don't care if we gain one. We are going to run the ball every other first down. I'm running the ball 3 or 4 times on first down. I'm sorry. You can count on
or
it. I don't
throwing a
care if you know it's
screen,
coming. Yes.
or
Yeah. I
throwing a
don't care.
screen,
Yeah.
which is a modern day run,
Yeah.
those little
Yeah.
pitches.
A flare, a screen.
Hmm
Yeah. Exactly. Something. Yeah.
So, yeah, that's so coaching. I mean, that's Baltimore's thing. Like, stop, don't change your identity when you run into the Chiefs.
Yeah.
I think
Exactly.
that's what coaches have got to stop doing. Buffalo did it. You know, they did not play the same style at all. Part of that probably was because of injury. But at the same time, the Chiefs, dude, they were playing their fourth string safety.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
they were in the same position except they're one star, corner. Um, so about the Lions, they were right there.
Yeah.
What did they
Had a,
do? You
had a great year. Had a great
freaking
year.
Dan, you messed up my perfect playoff
Oh gosh.
bracket.
Oh gosh. Yeah. I mean, like, we
Take the
can get
points,
into that.
Dan. Take the points.
I mean, like, it,
Bases out,
I
points
hope
on the board.
I hope that he uh is objective with himself, because I mean, I hate to say it, but like, and I'm all for being aggressive, and I mean, I get all that. That's great, but like,
Love it.
I mean, but like, yeah, I love, but like, there are some situations where the analytics tell you clearly what you should do and what not do, and like, I mean, and you've got to listen to those. I mean, especially twice, like you double down. Like, I mean, golly, why they didn't kick that first field goal, I have no idea. I'm sorry, that's a field goal all day long. And then the second one is even worse. Like,
It's even
just,
worse.
I mean, and then Dallas. I mean, like trying to go for that from the. I mean, like so silly. And think about it, if they win that game, maybe they got San Fran at their place. You know what I mean? Like that Dallas decision was so disastrous. Could
Disastrous.
you imagine if that game played in Detroit? They beat San Fran in Detroit. They kill him in Detroit. Kill him in Detroit. But now they're on the road. They have to fly out to the West Coast and play them in San Francisco. Like that's a
You're in
problem.
Candlestick. You got
Yeah.
as
Time
soon
difference.
as soon as it went from going to, oh man, this is a 3-score game. Wait, they're going for it.
For what?
Wait, we got the ball. We can
Oh,
make this a 1-score game.
oh my gosh.
All of a sudden, the whole crowd goes from to,
Yeah.
oh, here we go. We got a chance. We got a
Yeah.
chance.
Yeah.
Players feel it. Everybody feels it. You get that church atmosphere going on in the football stadium, and you just can't stop it.
Yeah. You make a great point there because we don't talk nearly enough about momentum, but like the momentum shift that took place when they didn't get that first third down or fourth down.
27-point swing or something like that.
Jesus, I mean, like, and the thing is, and then people, and the Detroit fans will say, "Oh, well, the field goal kicker was a replacement guy, and he only makes 50% of those field goals and all that." Like, listen, it's still the right move.
Don't care.
Listen, exactly. I could care. It doesn't make any difference. He's still the right move. Number one, and number two, he's still like 64% from that range, and like, if he misses it,
I can live with it.
yeah, there's a different feeling when you're a defender. All right, I played defense for 7 years in that business. There's a different feeling when you miss a field goal. You're like, dang, missed a field goal. Our guys, Matt Barr's our guy.
I'm
He
gonna go
missed
get
it.
my boy. I'm
I'm
gonna
gonna
go
get
clean up.
exactly. I'm gonna go get my man. I got him. Like, that's our guy. Let's go defend him. It's different than when you go for it and don't get it. It is deflating. Like I can't even tell you. It's just like,
Especially when the whole team knows it's the wrong decision.
oh gosh.
As a defense, you're walking out there, you're going, and your thoughts is not, I'm going to make up for my kicker. I got his back. We ain't
Yeah,
going to let this be on the kicker.
exactly.
You're walking out there going, my dumbass coach.
Like I can't
My dumbass
believe we
coach.
did that. Like, what are we
What is
doing?
he? Everybody's
Yeah,
instantly frustrated.
yeah.
Titles, it has, as soon as that happened, in
Uh,
my head, I went, he just
uh,
lost the game.
uh. And the
So
thing
he,
is, Jono, too, is that that's a TV timeout situation. So, especially in the playoffs. So now you're sitting around for like 4 or 5 minutes on defense, just going. So it's not like it's a quick change. That's not quite as bad. Quick change, you got to run on. You got to worry about what you. But like when you get the TV timeout and you're sitting there looking at each other like, what the
yo,
hell just happened? Like, what are we doing? Like all we need is one guy to slip and they score, and now we're playing for our lives. Like we're one score away from literally playing for our lives when we have this thing about to go up by 3 scores. And the thing is, I think they had like 7 minutes to go in the third quarter. If they kick a field goal there, if they're up by 3 points, now they need to score 2 touchdowns and a field goal, which
I can't
that's
do it.
that's 3 possessions, and you only have what, maybe 5 left tops. So they need to score 2 touchdowns and a field goal in 5 possessions. Not happening. I mean, game over. And
Game
what's the
over.
benefit of getting a first down? You're still not guaranteed to score a touchdown. You still might be kicking a field goal. Like a first down doesn't guarantee you a touchdown. I mean, 1st and 10 on, they had the ball on the 33-yard line. 1st and 10 on the 30-yard line, for example, is probably like 1st and 10 to 30 is probably worth, oh, I would imagine maybe worth like, maybe it can't be worth 3 points. Probably worth like 2.7 points, something like that. Estimated value.
Hmm.
So like the gain of getting the first down only gives you like tenths of a point, like 3/10 of a point advantage. Like there's no advantage. It doesn't matter if it's a touchdown or a field goal. Just making it 3 scores is all you need. It doesn't matter if it's a touchdown. I
No.
mean, just
Like, if you want to be aggressive in that situation, you take a shot at the end zone on 3rd down, and then
yeah.
you take the points.
You take your points. Yeah, yeah,
That's what you freaking do.
yeah.
There's a point, it's the gambler, It's like, hey, dude, walk away from the table.
Yeah.
Dan Campbell needs that coach that that can go, hey, no,
Not here. Yeah, not here.
we're
Not
not
here.
playing quarters right
Not
now.
here. Yeah, not
Not
here.
here.
Take the points. Yeah, not here.
Take points then. Now, on the other side, though, if you're the 49ers and you have Brock Purdy, and Russ is sitting there.
Yeah.
And you can get Russ. Russ can sign for whatever he wants.
That's right.
And the Broncos are stuck with the rest of the tab. That's got a thumbs up.
Right on.
But 1, do you go for Russ? But 2, what are you telling Brock Purdy to take that next step? Because, he, by all means, dude's good. Like, he's a perfect fit for the system. But at the same time, he's going to be seeing Mahomes every year.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I mean, we got to get through the NFC first, but
Right.
But
he's going to be seeing Stafford and all those guys.
Yeah.
Goff, I don't think the Lions are going anywhere. I think they'll be back. Goff is a very underrated quarterback, and they have the cap space to be able to. And he's the type of guy too that will be like, yeah, I'll sign for $30 million, and we'll bring in talent to win. Like, he's that type of mentality, humble dude. And he looks like Jared Goff, just not Jared Goff, Ryan Gosling. Identical match. Have you ever noticed that?
Yeah.
It's just a tall Ryan Gosling.
Yeah.
There's a movie waiting to be made if he wins the Super Bowl.
That's awesome. He's listen, Detroit's got a great team. And the coaches are staying around and all the guys are back, and they've been drafting like superstars for the last like 5 years in a row. I mean, their picks have been fantastic. And they've done a great job of developing their own talent and keeping their in-house talent. Kind of like the Dallas Cowboys are really good at that too, drafting well and then keeping the guys that they want to keep and developing their guys in-house, right? It's a lot cheaper, but it takes longer, so you have to be patient.
That's something actually Belichick was good at.
Yeah.
Especially on defense.
Especially on defense, 100%. No doubt about that. He'd find guys in the 7th round and then develop them into starters. Detroit's in a great position. They have cap space and a great nucleus, and they're good on both lines. You know what I mean? The defensive line and the offensive line are the strength of that ball club. And when you got good bigs, you can make things happen. You know what I mean? And throwing a good quarterback in a coordinated coaching system. Maybe not optimal coaching, but like top half, gutsy, and high trust with the players. They have a very, very connected group of guys there, and that matters a ton. People don't talk about that nearly enough. Like, just, do the guys like each other? I mean, will they sacrifice for each other? Do they love each other? You know what I mean? And the best teams I've ever been on were the teams that had the most love for each other. And when guys are willing to truly sacrifice for the guy next to them, they develop that bond. The team plays better, right?
It's true.
Yeah,
it's true. And
Detroit's got that.
We're butting up against 30 here, so we'll try to get into our last 2 questions and get out of here. But side note, the secret to the Spartan army was brotherly love.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Different
kind of brotherly love, but it was brother.
Yeah, you got that right.
That's the secret.
Yes, it was a little different, but you know what I'm saying.
So now Russ is going to be a free man, and you're the Chicago Bears. You got the 1st overall pick. You could have Caleb Williams, this all-star looking, checks all the boxes, right? And there's no box that Caleb doesn't check except maybe humility. Um, that's the you know that's a big box, and that's a box the QB does need to check.
Yeah.
Um, do you do you go Williams? Do you go with Caleb, or do you go for Russ and then keep Fields because you can pay Fields if Russ comes in for 3 years, you know, 10 million and shoves it to the Broncos, like he's kind of probably going to want to do. Um, let Russ train Fields. You have a good situation there, and then you trade back, you build up that offensive line, you bring in another receiver. Um, Washington would love to have Williams because he's a local kid. That's where he's from. They would that they're looking to rebrand, they're looking to break away, they're looking to show, their new face, all that stuff. Like, what do you do if you are the Chicago Bears?
Um, I mean, it's kind of a mealy mouth answer, but I would start by saying this. And I hate this part, but I would go with Caleb, and I would trade Fields. Um,
Now I hear the trade market for Fields is fourth, fifth round.
yeah,
That's
it's it's
that's
it's
that's
not it's
it.
not it's not great. It's not great. But I think that you know, and this is just here's the deal. Knowing what I know, sitting in this chair, I take Caleb
I,
because
I mean,
because
you were in the NFL, so
yeah. Well, I mean, if when a quarterback is the number one player off the board, all right, they turn into a franchise quarterback like 60,
60% of the time.
yeah, like 62% of the time in the first
Yeah,
3 years, and 87% of the time in their first 5 years. Okay,
yeah.
so the question becomes: do we think Justin Fields has become a franchise level quarterback in the next 2 years? If the answer to that is maybe, then you go with Caleb. Okay, and the answer to that would be maybe in Chicago with the staff that they have so far.
Oh,
Like
if to me it would be a no unless they build up that line. Like with the current situation,
no, right? Not in Chicago, right? So, um,
he'd be good in Atlanta though.
yeah, and I like Fields. And what people don't understand about
I
Fields
love
is
Fields.
Fields is one of the hardest working players in the National Football League. He literally he gets in early, he stays late, he works out with his coach afterwards, and they literally kick him out of practice 2 days a
Yep.
week. 2 days a week, the coaches at Chicago have to tell him to go home because they are closing the building. Like
Listen,
he,
if I'm the Rams, I'm and Stafford's looking at where he is,
that's not a bad
and
call,
and
actually.
that dude has that kind of work ethic. It, bro, they can that
That's not a bad call.
throw Chicago a third round pick. You have your QB of the future.
Yeah, that's not a bad call, man. To get him up there and just get him behind Stafford for a year or two, and then he's ready to
Stafford
roll.
retires, and you're ready to rock.
Yeah, yeah, that's not a bad call. I mean, yeah, it's I mean, yeah, I mean that's kind of I think what you have to do. You go with Caleb, and you see what you can get for Fields. Um, uh, yeah, I
Maybe
mean,
you trade Fields for some old linemen.
yeah, I mean, maybe you can get a player for him rather than a pick.
Yeah,
There are a lot of good safeties out there this year in free agency, not free agency, but like just in general, like that'll be moving. So maybe you can get a good safety, uh, or find like a good nickel corner, which will help you out. Yeah, I mean, it's it's unfortunate because I think Fields in a different system would be much further along than he is right now.
to me, Justin Fields is in the Tim Couch situation. You
Mhm.
know, super hard worker. Like if he was in the right system, he would be thriving.
Yeah,
But
he's not.
it's just everything is wrong.
Yeah,
Everything is wrong, and um, either as an organization they completely blow it up and redo everything around Fields, or you take the best player on the board, you take your loss, you trade him, you move
yeah,
on.
yep, that's right. That's what you do.
And if I'm the Rams, if you know, I'm the Giants, if I'm Atlanta, and Fields is there for a third, I'm calling.
Yeah, yeah,
Miami, Miami. hold up. Miami, give him a year behind Tua. Like, let Tua just keep doing his thing. Miami, you put Justin Fields with his speed and rushing ability with the cheetah.
Yeah,
You give
yeah,
Mike Vick someone who can run a 4.2. Oh my gosh.
yeah. I mean, he's an amazing athlete, and with his work ethic.
That's the
Um,
part that I love. That is,
yeah, me too. I mean, players. It's the thing that separates guys. Um,
they say it's cold like.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he's Brady-ish in the way he works. At it in the right system, he will. I mean, I really think he's going to excel.
I think so.
To be honest, to cut to the chase, I just don't think it's Chicago. You know what I mean? I just
Yeah,
don't.
I
I don't
agree.
trust that staff to get him where he needs to be. You know what I mean? So
No,
then people say, "Well, then why do you think you do with Caleb?" I mean, I get that logic. You know what I mean? But like,
it could end up being the same way. We could
it
be
could.
having the same conversation, but that
A
doesn't
hundred.
mean that's not what you do.
And then maybe, and if they have a bad year, and there may be different coaches next year. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like
Maybe
one
you
more
bring,
bad
yeah,
year. Yeah, one more bad
exactly.
year, and they're probably out of there.
Yeah, very, very, very much so. Now, like, if Russ goes to New York, what does New York do next year? Like, as far as like, where do you see him? If Russ goes to Pittsburgh, what do you see him
Yeah.
doing?
I mean, and I don't know what's going on with
That's the
Pittsburgh.
final question.
Yeah, I heard something about Pittsburgh saying that they're good with Kenny, a
Well, they went
quarterback.
back on that. They
Oh,
went
they did.
back on that. Yes.
Okay, good,
So they went back on that because that was
good.
before Russ was just going to be freely released. What
Okay,
they were saying was, we're not giving up anything for anyone. Like, we're keeping our draft picks, we're keeping our guys. But now that Russ is going to be free and clear, Pittsburgh said, hey, we're meeting with him.
yeah,
So
okay,
Russ flew to New York and flew to Pittsburgh today,
yeah,
and he
yeah.
flew commercial.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
So like he went and met with the fans as he's going through both airports and everything.
Oh, that's so cool. That's so
hmm
cool. Right
That
on.
shows he's changing. Like he's out for a little bit of revenge here. Like he's showing like, no, I'm coming to work. Like
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
flying commercial. I'm on a normal plane. Like let's
yeah.
talk.
Yeah. That's cool. It's good to see that. Um,
hmm
I really think Pittsburgh would be a good fit. I mean, he'd be a good fit in New York too. And maybe at this point in his life, he wants to live in New York. If he's never lived in New York, I mean, that's kind of a cool thing to live in New York. It's kind of cool. You know what I mean? Especially when you don't have to live there like the rest of your life. But like, it's what at
Mike
least
Tomlin though.
maybe I'm talking out of my own head. But like, I always wanted to like live in New York and not live in there permanently in New York, but like be there for like a year or two and just get to know the city and like all the
Yeah.
activity and there's so much stuff to do and then get the hell out of there, right? I mean, I don't want to.
Especially when you're coming out of college. Like,
Yeah.
please, Giants
Oh,
draft me.
oh
God.
yeah. She's playing New York. Are you kidding me? How cool would that be, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
just know the city and be there for a couple of years. You know what I mean? Be cool. Um, I
It'd be
think I
good
think
for both of their brands. That means married to a celebrity.
100%. I think he would be able to do more damage quickly in Pittsburgh. I mean that's like I mean outside looking in, that's the perfect spot for him. I mean, they need him and he needs them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's an offensive system where well listen, it's a defensive franchise. Okay, defensive minded head coach, defensive minded owners. They've been doing this way for 60 years, and they ain't changing, right? So
It
like
sounds
they
like the
don't.
Seahawks.
Yeah. Sean McVay's not calling plays and all that for you. You know what I mean? The latest offensive schemes, and we're not doing it. You're not. It's not
We're
the
handing the
Miami.
ball off and
Yeah.
running crossing routes.
Listen. Run the football, get us in the right play. Don't make too many mistakes. Don't turn it over, and we're good. You know what I'm saying? Like, listen, and we want to beat teams 17-14. Not 37-35. You know what I mean? That's
Yep.
not what we do, right?
And we're
So
in the AFC and play Denver every year.
Oh, exactly. Plus, you can get a piece of that Denver tail anytime
And,
you want. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So, I mean, like it is
Well,
it is good, and they're
and
the
I'm just
Steelers.
Mike Tomlin. Like I'm going with Tomlin.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh my God.
just end the conversation. You make me whoever. I don't even know who's coaching New York now. But it ain't Mike Tomlin. I know that.
Yeah, exactly.
It ain't one
Exactly.
of the best ever.
Yeah, ever. Yeah, yeah. The guy's going Hall of Fame. Yeah. I mean, like,
Oh, first
um,
ballot.
yeah. I mean, so, and you've got a great defense behind you. And
You got
and,
wide
and, and
receivers. You got a running game.
and you won't have a head coach like an offensive coordinator like all in your ear about your technique and you drop it like
Do you
you know
think,
what?
Russ?
Listen, just listen, Russ. You're the most senior guy out there. Plus, the Steelers have the third youngest offense in the league, right?
And
Their
they got a
average
good
age
O
is
line.
26.2
Yep.
years old for their average offensive starter. That's crazy. That's crazy young, right? So
Yeah.
to have a guy like Russ in the huddle with that experience to be able to tell guys, hey, to give it's not just calling the play, but it's also little things like, hey, the receiver telling, hey, listen, get a little bit wider on this route. Hey, the tackle, hey, set a little deeper on this guy. This guy likes the outside run. Hey, listen to the center. Hey, listen. All right, I'm gonna fake snap this thing like 3 times. It's gonna like get crazy, but just bear with me until I tap you. Don't snap the ball. Like little things that he knows because he's seen all these defensive coordinators, offensive coordinators. He's seen every defense.
Right.
He's been in these situations, so he can tell the guy like Kenny Pickett, where that quarterback is just trying to understand what his role is. His Kenny Pickett's number one concern every time and every snap is just what the hell am I supposed to do? Right? He's not worried about what anybody else's job is. He's like, what is my job? I'm trying to
He
master this thing. Yeah.
he's going 1, 2, 3, 1, and
Oh yeah.
then throwing it out of bounds, or and like that's what he's doing.
Yeah, he
That's
might be
his
going
job.
1-2 ball out of bounds. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, versus Russ. Russ make the little adjustments that you need to be better. And I mean, I can't even tell you, Jono, like how many times, like my first year starting in New England in '90. This is '93 when Parcells first got there. Mo Hurst had been in the league for 7 years, the other corner,
Well,
and
he was a stud.
he was a stud. And I'm telling you, every other play he was giving me some advice. Hey Rod, look out for the slant here. Hey Rod, look out for the quick out. Hey, watch out for screen. Hey, there's gonna be a run. Like every other play was like, hey, watch out for the run. Like just a little thing before he left off. They call, hey, stack cover 3, and you go, hey, watch out for the slant. And he go back to and I was like, oh, okay. He was right like 90% of the time. It was a slant. I was just like, how do you know? He goes like, I've seen it before. That's what Dan Marino does.
Yep.
That's what Elway does. He knew everybody. Listen, Joe Montana, hey, watch out. Here's gonna be a slant. My first interception was a slant against Jerry Rice because Mo told me, watch out for the slant. If he goes in motion, watch out for the slant. Sure enough, the guy goes in
Right.
motion. I go, oh, I jumped the slant and made it. First interception. I was like, oh, it worked. So like,
Made Steve Young mad.
yeah, so that's what I'm saying. That's why like having like a veteran like Russ
Yeah.
in the huddle with the Pittsburgh young offense is invaluable. Forget about Russell as a player. I just mean like his advice to the team and like
Yeah.
calmness. I mean, Pittsburgh could get really good really fast because they're going to play great defense.
Exactly. Exactly. And I have a kid. I feel like is starting to scream, but
Right
um,
on.
the last thing is like Russ. You take Russ and you put him on the youngest offense that was already in the playoffs.
Listen, that's what I'm
That's a good
saying.
deal.
Like they could be really good with
All right.
Russ. I mean,
Now,
quickly.
last thing, tell everybody where they can find you. I know you got a TikTok shop going up and you go live probably every Thursday. Just tell everybody where they can find you and we
Okay.
will say goodbye.
And you know what's funny? Like I should know all this stuff. Like my wife, Big Ann, takes care of all of this. So like I'm trying to figure out like what my thing is. I think I'm Rod Smith official on TikTok. It's really crazy that I don't know that, right? I'm
Yes.
Rod Smith official on TikTok. Is where you can check me out, and we try to post a couple times a week. And we're gonna go live tomorrow, and probably Sunday as well. So yeah, try to go live once a week, and once again on the weekends, and just talk football. And we have a really good team. Um, you
Yes,
know,
Rod Smith official.
Rod Smith official. Okay, there we go. Rod Smith official. There we go. There you go. So yeah, check
All
me
right.
out, and I hope you enjoy it. And leave a comment, and let's talk some football.
All right. Well, we will catch you soon. We'll have you on again. Let this upload once I hit this in. And you guys check out the Distracted Spectrum, Spotify, YouTube, and Meta. Oh, I was supposed to hit the stop button.